Good morning, sir. I'm Riddhiru Bera, 19 BCE 1169. So I'm going to talk about the a priori algorithm, association rule mining. So the a priori algorithm is used for frequent item set mining and association rule learning over relational databases. It identifies the frequent individual items in the database and extends them to larger and larger item sets as long as those item sets appear sufficiently often in the database. The frequent item sets determined by a priori can be used to determine association rules which highlight general trends in the database and has applications in domains such as market basket analysis. So I'm going to explain you the a priori algorithm and then I will demonstrate it in the RapidMiner software. So for that we need two terms, which is the minimum support level, which is set at 30%, and the minimum confidence level, which is set at 60%. So now we will consider a data set which contains a few items like M, E, B, P, and K, and this is a transaction list, which means that in the first transaction these four items were bought together. In the second transaction, M, P, E, K were bought together. In the third transaction, B, P, K were bought together. Like that, this is the whole data set. So we will apply the a priori algorithm on this data set. So now first we make the one item sets, which means that we find the frequency of individual items in the data sets. For example, M appears 9 times in the whole data set, B appears 10 times, P appears 10 times, and so on. So now we had this minimum support level at 30%. So we find the support of each item, individual item, by dividing the frequency of it by the total number of transactions. So here the total number of transactions are 12. So for finding the support of each item, we divide the frequency by the number of transactions. So for this, the support would be 9 divided by 12, which is about 75%. For B, it will be 10 by 12, and so on. So now our minimum support level was 30%. So we need at least an item which has a frequency of 4, because 4 by 12 is 1 by 3, which is 33%. So we need something which is 4%, which has a frequency of 4 or more than 4, so that it crosses the minimum support level, which is 30%. So 4 by 12 will be 33%. So now 3E occurs 3 times and K occurs 3 times. So their minimum support level will be 3 by 12, which is 1 by 4, which is 25%. So E and K will have a support level of 25%. So we discard that and we then filter this one item sets into the frequent one item sets, which is M, B, P, and C, which have a frequency of 9, 10, 10, and 5 respectively. So they have a support level of more than the minimum support level, which is 30%. So now from these frequent one item set, we make pairs. So these are the pairs from the frequent one item sets. So now we get the two item sets by making the pairs. Now we see how many times this pair appears in the whole data set. For example, M and B appear 7 times in the whole data set. So we can see here, so we see M and B appear 7 times in the data set. So M and B appear 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, 6, and 7. So M and B appear 7 times in the whole data set. So their frequency is 7. Similarly, for MP it is 7, for MC it is 3, and so on. So now as we saw that the minimum support should be 30%. So any item which has a frequency of less than 4 will have a support level of less than 30%, which is 25%, because 3 by 12 is 1 by 4, which is 25%. So we will filter them out. So finally, the items which have a support level of the two item sets, that a pair of items which have a support level of more than 30% will be filtered. And so we get the frequent two item sets which have the pairs which have a support level of more than 30%. So we have MB, which has frequency of 7, MP having a frequency of 7, BP having a frequency of 9, and BC having frequency of 4. So now we move to the next procedure, which is that from the frequent two item sets, we make pairs of 3, we make triplets out of them. From the objects, we have M, B, B, and C left. So from there we make triplets out of these individual items. So we get 4 triplets, which are MBP, MBC, MBPC, and MPC. So now we see these 3 items appear how many times in the whole data set. So for example, MBP together appear 6 times in the whole data set. MBC appear 1 time in the whole data set. MPC appears 3 times, and BPC appears 3 times, and MPC appears 2 times. So now similarly, we filter out the triplets which have a support level of less than minimum support level. So finally, we get MBP, which has a frequency of 6. Others have 1, 2, and 3 frequency, which is less than the minimum support level. If we divide it by 12, we get maximum is 3. So 3 by 12, we get 1 by 4, which is 25%, and it's less than the minimum support level, which is 30%. So these will not be included, but MBP will be included, having a frequency of 6. So for this, the support is 6 by 12, which is 50%. So this is more than the minimum support level. So we will include it. And now we can see that we cannot make 4 item sets out of it, because the only 3 items are left, which are M, B, and P. So now let the items which are left be considered as set T. So now we will consider all the non-empty subsets of the items which are left. So now for each non-empty subset S of T, T is the items which are left, that set. So the association rule is given by S tends to T minus S. So T minus S means that this is T. So suppose S is M. So T minus S will be BP. Like the items which are left other than the items which are left in the set T other than the item which is selected right now. So the rule of 10 can be considered valid if the support of T divided by support of S is greater than or equal to the minimum confidence. So the minimum confidence we saw in the beginning was 60%. So now we look at the association rules. So finally we had got this set MBP, which we consider is it as T, and we find the non-empty subsets of this. So which are MBP, MB, MP, and BP. We are not considering this subset, which is MBP. So we have the minimum support as 30% and the confidence as 60%, which is the minimum support as 30% and the minimum confidence as 60%. So let's see, rule number 1, M was item of the non-empty subset, and T minus S, and we consider it as T as, and we consider M as S. Now T minus S is BP, because T is the whole set which was left, and the whole set minus M, we have B and P left. So the first rule will be M tends to B comma P. So we find the confidence here, which is support of MBP by support of M. We saw the formula here, support of T by support of S, and S is the current element of the non-empty subset. So support of MBP by support of M, we get 6 by 12 divided by 9 by 12. So support of M is 6 by 12 because MBP appears 6 times, and by 12 it will be, by 12 will be done for finding the support, and then support of M, which will be the frequency of M divided by total number of transactions. So if we move before, we can see the frequency of M is 9 here. So we see 9 by 12. So we get 6 by 9, which is 66.67%, which is greater than 60%, which is the minimum confidence level. And so this rule is valid. M tends to B comma P is valid. Then we come to the second rule, which is B tends to M comma P. So here we are taking each of the elements from the non-empty subsets. So first we had M, then we have B. So like this, we will take all the non-empty subsets. So now we have B. So T minus B will be M comma P. M comma P are the remaining elements of the subset T after we have taken B. So confidence is support of MBP by support of B. Similarly, it will be 6 by 12 divided by 10 by 12, which is 6 by 10, which is 60%, which is greater than or equal to 60%. So this rule is also valid. 60% is the 60% is the minimum confidence level, and the support of M comma B comma P was 6 by 12, and support of B was 10 comma 12. Support of B means the frequency of B by the total number of transactions. So frequency of B, we can see it was 10. So this way the rule 2 is also valid, which is B tends to M comma P. Similarly, we come to a third rule, which is P tends to M comma B. And for this, the confidence is 6 by 10, which is 60%, which is also greater than or equal to 60%, which is the minimum confidence level. So this rule is also valid. Similarly, we come to M comma B tends to P. So the confidence for this would be support of M comma B comma P divided by support of M comma P. We are taking this element here because this is S and this is T minus S. So for this formula, we get 6 by 12 divided by 7 by 12. So for support of M comma B comma P is 6 by 12, as the frequency of M comma B comma P coming together is 6 and total number of transactions are 12. And support of M comma B will be frequency of number of times M comma B appear divided by the total number of transactions. So we can see from before that M comma B appears 7 times here. So the support of B will be support of M comma B will be 7 by 12. So the result will be 6 by 7, which is 85.7%, which is greater than or equal to 60%, which the minimum confidence level. So this rule is also valid. This rule M comma B tends to P is also valid. Similarly, M comma P tends to B is the fifth rule. And if we find the minimum support level, it comes out to be 6,7, which is 85.7%, which is also greater than the minimum support level, minimum confidence level of 60%. And this rule is also valid. Then B, so this is rule 6, which is B comma P tends to M. So confidence for this rule will be 6 by 9, which is 66.67%, which is greater than or equal to 60%, which is the minimum confidence level. And so this rule is also valid. So this is how the association rules are created using the a priori algorithm. Thank you, sir. So now we will look this at in the RapidMiner software. Now we will run the a priori algorithm in the RapidMiner software. So we have taken the iris dataset. So now we will convert it into. So now we will use FP growth to find the association rules. This is the FP growth operator, and this takes in binomial values. So we have to convert this data set. So first we discretize it using the discretized by frequency operator, and then we use nominal to binomial operator. So now we use create associations operator to create the associations, to create the association rules. So now we connect each of them. So now we will run this. So now we can see we have each of the attributes here of the data set, and we have the premises and the conclusion. So we can see these association rules have been formed, like A3 tends to A4 comma A1, and we have the confidence level also. Like for example, this confidence level is 0.82, which is 82%. Then we have a rule like A4 tends to A1. So the confidence level is 0.875, which is 87%. Like that, we have all the association rules using RapidMiner. Then this is a graph of the association rules also. All these attributes are there and all the rules are also there. This is the graph of the association rules. Then we have this table where it shows that suppose there is an object called A4. So for example, if we are buying A4, which is an object, so what is the chance that A3 and A1 are also bought? So we can see the confidence level is 0.86 and support is 0.41, and we have all these attributes here. So similarly, we have A4 like A1 and all that. So it shows that there are high chances of buying. When we have bought A4, there are high chances of buying A3 and A1 also. If we have bought A3, there are high chances of buying A1 also. So we get the support and confidence level of each of them. So here we have got the association rules also. So this is how a priori algorithm was executed in the RapidMiner software. Thank you, sir.